What do you think? What do you think of the new do-do-do-do-do? That is nothing like it sounds. What did you think? The new look at the logo. Oh, it's so shiny. Nice, isn't it? And the new little boo boo boo. We were trying to work out what song it reminded us of. Sounds a bit poppy, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like a bit Taylor Swifty, a bit McFly-ish. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. We've got lovely social Chantal looking after you this evening. Hiya! Welcome to our brand new show. My name is Rebecca Redican. You can call me Becky. And this show is for all of us. As with all of our shows, this is something that anyone can get involved with, but we focused on beautiful beginnings. Why? Because we want to make it easy for those who are joining our family, whether that be people who stumbled upon us or whether that be your friends and loved ones who you've introduced to us. And we want to give them a safe hub, a safe, happy space that they can explore different crafts from day dot. We want this to be an opportunity for people who have maybe never crafted before or maybe haven't crafted since they were in school to be able to try something out, expand their skill set, and hopefully find a brand new love and passion that brings as much joy and friendship as you have received over possibly your months, weeks, years of knowing Crafters Companion and Crafters TV. This isn't just for newbies though, don't get me wrong. We will be focusing on different selections, different schemes each show, and it'll be a little bit of those back to basic hints and tips. But if you're anything like me, you know what it's like. Sometimes someone will show you an inspiration and show you it in a slightly different way than you've tried it. So then you go back and you try it in that way, and all of a sudden you found a better way of doing things, maybe a bit of a time saver. So that is what this show is all about. And with that in mind, if you are getting social with us, do feel free to let us know maybe what the first thing you crafted was. Can you remember? What was the first thing maybe you purchased from Crafters TV or Crafters Companion? And let us know where that journey has progressed. Maybe you've got photos of the first things you made. Do feel free to send those in. Just let us know that you have in the comments and then we'll whip them up. There is a lot to be going through today, and it is beautiful beginnings. This is a show with beautiful beginnings of products that launched today and already are very popular, but it's also about beautiful beginnings of brand new makes from our craft expert, Corinne. Hi, Corinne.
Hello. Yes, we've nearly made it through the day.
I know. Exciting show today. What are we going to expect?
It is. Right, we're going to do a bit more iris folding that we showed you this morning, but we're going to start somewhere a little bit different. We're going to start with our dancing dragonflies. Now, we talked about beautiful beginnings, and some of you might say, oh, these just look a little bit too complex for me. But I promise you they're not. We're going to take it back to basics. We're going to show you how easy these are to achieve. If you've got the tools, you're going to be able to do these so easily. So, oh, lovely little card there. She's got a lovely little shape. So, you know, we're going to sort of talk about card shapes, mats and layers, take it back to the beginning, talk a bit about colouring, layering up, textures, and how to use the tools that you're going to be investing your hard-earned money in. So, you know, if you've invested in them, you want to get the most out of them. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Lovely. And we're going to show you how easy that is to put together.
That's absolutely perfect. Lots of you already saying hi. Linda says hi from Maryland. Hello to Kate from California. Hello to Diane in Florida. Lovely to have you with us. Valerie in Arizona. We've got Sue in from Michigan. Hi again, Sue, my love. There's lots of you in. Miriam saying, I love the new music and the new logo, which is fabulous. Thanks for letting us know that. I've also got Barbara in talking about her crafting. And Barbara, you're saying, I used to craft for years, but I had a stroke in 2019 and I need to be reintroduced to all crafts. Well, Barbara, that's first off, I hope you're doing a little bit better now. Second off, this could be a really perfect show for you. It really, truly could. Because I've got loads of things to inspire you today, including Good old Jakey's just handed me a little treat here for you, which, quite frankly, you can't get anywhere else full of money. It's our Crafters Inspiration Issue 5, and something like this, Barbara, could be really cool for you because it's basically jam-packed with loads of ideas, loads of projects. You're going to get some die cutting, you're going to get some sort of soft craft ideas. In fact, these are just some of the ideas that you're going to be able to get from this. If you do fancy it, it's $12.99, $19.95. It has sold out in other areas, okay? So if you do want to seize the moment, I'm sure we'll have a little chat through it better later on, but I thought I'd let you know that now just because plenty of you are treating yourself to it. So that is available, and there is just so much in it. And there's also kind of digital papers and bonus content you can get with that too. So I thought I'd show you that just because it can spark ideas, can't it? So that's $12.99 or $19.95. So there's a mammoth amount within there, but also, Barbara, one that I would definitely think, if you like this sort of look, obviously, I'm not sure what your aesthetic is, but if you like me, Barbara, you're a bit of a magpie. Can I show you this thing that we've launched today? And I'm not entirely sure if you've seen it. I might have seen your name pop up already today, but I might not have. This is brand new collection of our Gilding flakes. Brand new colours, 3 brand new colours. And then you get these, which don't look that exciting or inspiring, but they are so simple to use and they create stunning elements. Basically what these are is double-sided foam, which has been very cleverly die cut out. It's not die cut all the way through, so you're not like, sometimes when you pick up something that's been all the way die cut out and it just pops out and then you lose it and then the dog stands on it and the cat gets in the way. That might just be my household. But with these, they're really cleverly done. And it means that from these pots of Gilding flakes, you will get these bold colours, which when they hit the light, not only do you get that texture, you get kapow, a head-turning, light-catching, glorious glimmer of colour. I mean, look, these are so reflective that you could even see them reflecting in the table. You see the 1, 2, 3 lights here? That is how reflective these are, and that incredible colour. We have said that these are festive colours, but as I mentioned before, that's sort of spring colours. You use that for your roses around Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. Now, you get the foam, and what you do is you just peel the back off the foam, rub your Gilding flakes over, and this is the type of look you get. It's so cool, isn't it? You're getting 204 different ones of these, of your foam shape. So you're getting some of them like repeated over and over. Look at this one. This looks advanced, doesn't it? Looks like it's going to be dead fiddly. We've thought about it, and I promise you it's not. We've done loads of demos on these today, which you can look back on, of course. Even in the wake-up call, we did some. Look at those ones as well. You've got absolutely loads. So all of that with a massive 3 parts of your Gilding flakes, just $27.96 today. So it's $35.80. It's a 20% saving. But they have been really popular today. We'll have a little look at our stock on that in a moment or two when we get a chance to rest, when we tally it up. So yeah, do seize the moment on that if you fancy it, because it really is a sensational look. Now, we have got for you your Dancing Dragonfly collection here today. And what we wanted to do with this, because it is Beautiful Beginnings, what we want to do, and you might know if you've crafted for a while, is sometimes the hardest bit of creating something is getting out all of your stash and working out what's going to work well together. Especially if you're new, right? It's a little bit like if you were brand new to cooking and the stuff in your fridge was just random things that were odds and ends and leftovers. You've got some double cream, you've got half-eaten carrots. I don't know why they would be half-eaten. Just nibble them and there you go. But yeah, you've got all of these things. You wouldn't, when you're first starting out into the world of cooking, want to put that together. It's going to be really difficult, right? What we have done here, if I'm to carry on using that analogy, we are giving to you every single ingredient you need to make a plethora of recipes, but also with our shows, we're giving you the recipe cards. This is a full collection that works together sensationally, and it is your dancing dragonflies. So, again, if you are new, please do not feel afraid if you know anyone mentions a word that you just don't understand. You know, say I throw out the word vellum for no reason, you think, what the heck is a vellum? Is that where you ride your bikes really quickly in a circle? That's a velodrome. Do feel free to message in, because this is all about you. There is no simple silly question, so do feel free to get in touch. So I've got for you here your dancing dragonflies, and this is what you're going to get. And then when you cut this out with a die cutting machine, which I do have on show for you today, actually, I've got a mini version that's really cool if you're a beginner. You cut out these designs, layer them up in card, and that's the kind of effect you get. Same with these ones, so you can cut these out, and you don't just use them once, use them over and over and over, and you can create these sentiments. You've also got stamps. So these are really nice stamps that make your handwriting, although it's not your handwriting, they make your cards look perfectly finished off every time. But you can use whatever you want depending on the person and the occasion. As well as that, I've got more dies in here. And these dies, you'll see there's bits that are cut out, but also there's little pop-up elements in there. This is really cool, just a little addition that we can bring. I've got your dragonfly designs in here, and it's not just this character. You've got these elements here too, including a frame. Could you imagine putting a photograph in the middle of that? Great, wouldn't it? Then I'm bringing to you some more dies and stamps. So with this, what you can do is when you use the dies and the stamps together, this is the kind of effect you get. And just one of them flat on a card looks great. But actually, if you're going to be gluing them together, you can create this layered decoupage effect. It looks really, really, really expensive. I've also in here got for you lots of accessories. So like I've got these little enamel charms that go great. I've got some wonderful ribbons as well. This isn't your full length, you get it swirled around, so you do get plenty in there. As well as that, I'm going to be bringing to you cardstock like this, and oh, this one's special. So it comes white, this is it at the top. But as you can see, even when it's white, can you see you've got that shimmer, that detail, that iridescence? This iridescence will stay in place when you pop some ink over the top. I mean, you don't have to. Looks great as it is, but looks beautiful if you did want to use it in that way. I've also got embossing machine, embossings. Now these add texture to your designs. So can you see how with different colours picked out here? That's actually because it's raised it. And again, you just run it through your die cutting machine. There's nothing extra you need to add in there. I have got more dies and stencils as well. And then I have got your vellum. Remember, not a velodrome. Vellum is essentially a material which moves similar to that of paper, I suppose, but what it has is a translucency. So that means you can use this and see things peeping through the background. I always think of these a little bit like, do you know, those dead posh wedding invitations that people send? Yeah, they've often got a bit of vellum in, haven't they? And these have lovely patterns on them as well. And those patterns are mimicked in the likes of our 12 by 12 pad, which again, you're also going to be getting within here. And as you can see, they're double-sided. You don't have to use the whole thing at once. You can if you want to. You can cut out with your dies. You can do hand cutouts if you want to with these. It's absolutely up to you. Once you get it, you've got it, and we're happy as Larry. So you have got all of this within here today, and you're looking at £99 or $128 only. If you look on the website, maybe you're thinking, okay, I want to give this a go, but I don't know if I need all of it. I would say go and have a little look on our website, because there are smaller collections, including on our website. There is our fantasy film. Now, we just don't have enough of these in stock to put within this bundle. Oh, it's gone now. Oh. Literally, we had some at the start of the show, which was 15 minutes ago. We don't anymore, I'm sorry. But do have a little look, because that goes to show just how quickly this show is going and how popular these items are. So do feel free to seize the moment on those ones. It's lovely to have you here. Helen, hi Helen Belson saying, I'm the softer side, but I've been buying the starter kits for papercraft. That's brilliant. I love that you found a new hobby through your soft craft. That's absolutely fabulous. There's lots of you getting involved with us, and Brenda has gone a basic question. What is the difference between Kalal all-purpose glue and tacky glue? Well, first off, I want to say, Brenda, that this is the perfect show to ask that sort of thing, and it's really important to know the difference. And actually, at first, it's not that obvious, but that's why you message us in whilst we're live, because Corinne has the answer.
You certainly do. I'm just going to find a jar of cloud glue. It's actually got some in. Mine was nearly empty.
Oh,
right, there we go. I have got my tacky glue and my cloud glue here. Now, if you want to know a lot more about them, go into a lot more detail, go onto YouTube and search for our glue schools. We've done lots of glue schools. Can I give you a tip? Look for Jan Brown's glue school. It's the best. I've done a glue school. I've known other people do glue schools. Jan Brown's is the best. She is a whiz with glue, so have a look at that, but have a look at any of them. Now, tacky glue is a water-based glue, and cloud glue is a silicone-based glue. So that is the chemistry difference between them. So tacky glue, if we start with that, when I do my glue school, I bring in a board I've got a piece of hardboard and I've glued all sorts onto it. I can glue wood onto there. I can glue plastic, I can glue paper, I can glue ribbons, I can glue metals, everything. I can make foam flowers and glue them onto it. Tacky glue dries really, really strong. It's probably one of the strongest for longevity. Really, really good. So the thing with tacky glue is less is more. So you put a little bit on. So if I was to do this, I'd put a little bit on the back of there, just give it a second to adhere, and then I would stick it to what I was going to. Now, this works brilliantly if you've got coated cardstock. So can you see on here, I've got my...
That's from the Dancing Dragonflies,
it is,
isn't
that's
it?
the foiled
Yeah.
card. If I was to stick onto there, really I should be using tacky glue, because silicone glue will damage your foiling. So if I was gluing onto there, I would probably be using my tacky glue. In my mirror card, in my pearlescent card, I would be attaching anything to the top of my pearlescent card with my tacky glue. Solvent-based glue, which is your cloud glue, is a brilliant glue. It means that when you glue things together, so say I was gluing two pieces of paper together, again, quite thin coats, I would put the two together and I would glue them together. It would give me wiggle room so I could adjust things, you know, it doesn't dry straight away, I could make sure it was straight, I could make sure I've got it in the right position. What I love about the cloud glue is when it's dry, it's really rigid. So if you're trying to build up the layers on your cards and you want that rigidity, you want it to, you know, to stand nicely and to be really firm, then your cloud glue is the best. If we're just gluing paper onto paper onto paper onto paper, go for this one every single time.
Absolutely.
So that is, in a nutshell, is the two different ones.
That's brilliant.
Solvent-based or water-based.
And I would say that for some people, they much prefer one to the other. But actually, if you are going to be using it on like your coated card, your mirror card, you need to make sure you have the tacky glue. But also, if you want strength, and because sometimes cards, if you overdo them, they go a bit, don't they? Get your cloud glue out. Keep those messages coming through. Thank you for that. See, look how we're just impromptu. Should we dive on into a demo?
I think we should. Right, so I've got the bits I'm going to do on here. So let's start first, because you've seen it, our luxury foiled card pad. So you've got lots of different designs. You've got 6 different designs, so you must have 4 of each. And look at that. Can you see the foiling embossed within that card? Lovely. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Now, this is really, really clever, because what we can do is we can add ink to this and it will shine through the foiling. The foiling won't take over from it. So what I'm going to do is I've got some of my water-based inks and I've got my grasshopper and I've got my ocean blue. So I've got a couple of little daubers. So daubers or ink blenders, depending on what you want. As you can see, they're our brand, Spectrum Noir. You get them like this, and they've got the Velcro on that side, and your dauber has like a felt on the back, so it just acts as like your hook and loop. So when they come, that's all white, and then it just colours up with your ink. You can actually, if you've got one of those little wash bags, you know, where you put your delicates in. Yeah. Put your dauber pieces in every now and again, those, and wash them all clean.
Great.
Yep. get them
Lovely.
clean if you want to. But what I've done, just before I started on here, I just got a piece of kitchen roll and I was just basically cleaning up my doorboards because I don't know whether this has had ocean blue on or a different blue on.
Yeah.
So I've just basically cleaned off the excess, just like that. That's enough that I can then use them again. So I've got some finger daubers as well. So you can use that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do this quite lightly. I'm going to just pick up some ink, blend it into the pad, because if you can blend it into the pad, you're going to get a better result. And then I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to add this to the card quite randomly. I'm not going to try and do any set pattern. So I'm just going to come in here all the way around the edge. Now I don't need to colour in the middle because I'm going to have something over the top. So I'm not going to waste my time, you know, spending ages on it. But can you see that when I apply this, the foiling still shines through?
Absolutely.
It doesn't over colour. I'm just going to leave that for a minute while I pick up some of the grasshopper. I'm going to pick up the grasshopper and I'm just going to come in on here. I'm just trying to be nice and light touch on here, just on there. I'm just going to bring in the blue and you can see when you do it how you want to blend the two colours together. So, you know, have the two together and then if you see it, one's getting a little bit big, just go back in with the other. You can just keep going and then, you know, bring them together. They're water reactive inks, so they blend beautifully. So you can see here, we're making our own colour at the edges where the two colours are touching. And that's what you can do with these inks, which is absolutely perfect. I'm just going to come in on that one. I've got that down to here. Let's make sure I've got a little bit more green on here. All I'm doing on here is just making sure I've not got any puddles of ink on the sponge. And then just down here. There's no pattern to this. It is purely, well, I'm hoping it is, as random as you can get because, as we were saying earlier, random's not an easy thing to achieve sometimes. We naturally do patterns, don't we? It was when I was trying to use the Gilding flakes, I was trying not to have a pattern on my colours. I was trying to get them quite random on there and it was really hard. Right, that's as far as I want to go because like I say, I'm going to cover that up, so I'm not going to spend some time. Now look at that.
Oh, gorge.
Can you see the colours? Now that actually looks a little bit, just going to blend that one out because just put a bit more strength in a couple of colours next to it because it looked all right here, but on the camera it just looks a little bit strong. There we go.
Beautiful.
There we are. Can you see?
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Right, so I can put my inks away and that is that piece done. So let's build the card up as we go. So I've just got some mirror card. Now what I can do is I can come in with my collal glue because I know I said if it's coated cardstock, don't use the card. It's not coated on the back. So I'm absolutely fine to use my collal glue on the back of my card base. So my card base is 5.5 by 7.5. We often do 5 by 7, but I've got an embossing folder I'm going to use, so I've had to go slightly bigger.
Lovely.
And I've just
that's
gone
in inches, isn't it?
That's in inches, yes. And I've just gone down by 1/2 inch, so that I've got 1/4 inch on each one. So if that was 5.5 by 7.5, I'm now down to 5.25 by 7.25. Just to put my first matten layer on. So that's on there. And then we're going to do this. So this now I'm going to pick up my tacky glue because I'm attaching to a coated cardstock. Now you'll sometimes see I sometimes do still use my collal glue because I like the strength. All you have to do is if you do use your collal on a coated cardstock, make sure that it's not going to ooze out of the sides because that's when it would take the coating off your cardstock. So long as you know that it's not going to come out. So all I'm doing, just using the heat of my hand just to burnish that down and make sure. Can you see it still moves? So if I didn't have it straight, I've still got that wiggle room to get it straight. So I'm going to put that. Now that's going to dry nicely, so I'm just going to lift it out of the way and leave that to dry for a few minutes while we get on with the next layer. So the next layer is a piece of white card. Let me just grab a wipe because I've just got glue off the nozzle on my hands.
No problem. Don't forget, if you do want any of the inks that Corinne's just used, just head on over to our website. All of the info's right at the bottom corner. You see there, it says order now at. You'll find them on there.
Right, now, this is a 6x4. It's a 3D embossing folder. Now, I don't want that to scare anybody. We'll go through it, and it's really, really simple. Because this is a 6x4, when you see all embossing folders have a little border around the outside. That's almost where the embossing folder seals. So if I look at that, you can see so it seals. So what I've done is I've cut my card to 1/4 of an inch below the 6x4. Sorry, you can just see, yeah, we'll come back 1/4 of an inch. So it's 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, so that this will then fit into my embossing folder within that border. Now, an embossing folder, Becky was saying, what you've got is you've got the positive and the negative so that they fit together, and what you're doing is you're putting your cardstock through. Now, I know some people like to spritz their card before they emboss. They think they're going to get a deeper emboss. I have no problem with my Gemini and my 3D embossing folder. I'm just using regular multi-purpose cardstock. I'm not using anything special, and I don't think you're going to think you need to spritz your card to dampen those fibres. I think you're going to be fine. Now, for Crafter's Companion, the name goes on the back. So you can see this is the raised side, this is the indented so that they fit together. So that's what we want. We want to put our card in so that, just hold a minute, let me get it in the right place. So what's going to happen is those raised bits are going to push up from the back, and they're going to push through my card into like the socket. If you think of it as like a ball in a socket to there. Now, what we've got is we've got the plates for our die cutting machine. Normally, our plates for our die cutting machine are clear plastic plate, magnetic shim, plastic shim, and a clear plastic plate. Now, this is much thicker than a regular die. So all I need to do is I'm going to take off my plastic cutting plate, and I'm going to sandwich this in between. Now, don't worry, if you've bought a Gemini machine, the plates you need to use for a 3D embossing folder are shown in your instruction manual. Now, put it through my die cutting machine. I'm just going to take it back just once. I won't go back to this level all the time. Die cutting machine is effectively a mangle, isn't it? It is a mangle. It has 2 rollers, and you're going to put something through it, and the pressure in there is either going to emboss or it's going to cut, or whatever you're asking it to do. So that's how that works. A lot of pressure, but it's totally safe. It's not going to start until all the sensors are triggered at one point. If I just put my fingers there, it doesn't start it. It's perfectly safe. Now, if I open this, I want to show you this. Now, because this is white card, it wouldn't have mattered which way up I put it in the folder, but I showed you that the writing goes on the back in case you're doing it with, if I'd been doing it with, let's show you, this piece of gold card, I wouldn't want the emboss to be on the white. I'd want it on that side. So there we go. Now, look at that. Now, I don't think we needed to spritz that to enhance that in any way.
That's great.
Now, 3D embossing folder means that you've got multiple heights on your embossing. A regular embossing folder embosses everything to one uniform height. So you either have flat or raised with a regular embossing folder. With a 3D embossing folder, we have different heights. If I look here at this water, it's quite a low emboss. If I look at this water lily on here, it's really prominent how much it's embossed. And again, the bridge is sort of a mid-height, and then these leaves, because they're further forward, are a really prominent emboss. And that's the only thing you need to know about a 3D embossing folder is it's slightly different plate combination, but it works just by doing multiple levels. So I'm going to bring exactly the same inks back in, my green and this blue. At this time, I'm also going to bring in some brown.
Lovely.
Let's have a go. So start with the green. I'm going to get some green, put it on my dauber, and I'm just going to lightly dust it over there. So I'm just doing it quite light, so it's picking up on the raised bit rather than the white card behind. So it's all about that pressure, and I'm just doing it nice and lightly. If it goes on the back, so be it, but I want the majority of the colour to be on the top. You can see just on there. So can you see, isn't that gorgeous? Lovely, it's a grasshopper green. Really, really pretty. So I'm going to take that. Then I'm going to come in with the blue. Let's put the lid on. I know if I don't put the lid on, the number of times I can put the dauber in the wrong one. So I'm just going to come in here. Now, what you could do is, I'm just going to come down here with this one just to bring the blue. Oops, a bit hard there. Never mind, we can sort that. And then we can just, oh, this is quite strong. Let me get rid of some of that ink. There we go. Right, I'm just going to go across it. Don't worry about it going on the lilies. What I might do in a minute is pick up my finger dauber and I'm just going to go across those. Yeah, I'm going to pick up my finger dauber just to get it nice and light. I'm going to come in. So this is exactly the same, but it just goes on my finger and it's a bit light, it's a bit more controlled. So I can then colour through. I know it's gone on the lilies and I'm not going to get too concerned about that. I'm going to get another finger dauber and I'm just going to go over green over some of these lily pads. And that's going to give me a lovely colour. I'm going to come up that plant, well, bulrush plant. I know what it is. I'm going to come round here where that foliage is. Now remember, you can add ink, you can't take it away. So if you're at all unsure, go less is more until you're ready to commit, you know, just a little bit at a time. Look at that, how that's coming together. You can almost see that water. I've got a nice bluey green now, haven't I? And then I'm going to come in with my brown, my fire brown. Let's make sure I've not got too much. And I'm just going to come up here. I want to go on top of my bulrushes because that's what colour they are. And then the struts of my bridge. So I'm just adding the colour as we go. Ooh, that one. This is why I should put the lids on, because I nearly put that brown in the green. And then we can just add it in. There, and then down that brick if we can get it down there. But it's more about a hint of colour rather than, you know, definite colour. So there we go, look at that. And I just want to come in with the green over here a little bit more down the edge. Now you can then, what I could then do is, let's just come down the edges and just blend a little bit of colour around the edge. I'm just using the ink that was left on my dauber just to go around the edge. I want to do the blue and then I want to do the green to give me that lovely turquoise. These are water reactive blending inks, so I can blend multiple colours together. Now that's looking absolutely gorgeous and we're going to take it up a notch. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in some gilding wax. Now if you've been watching today, we've been talking about gilding flakes. Gilding wax, again, this is a furniture application polish that we've brought into the craft industry. So this is Empire Gold. It's absolutely gorgeous, really creamy, you can see on there. Now, put it on your mat. You only want the tiniest, tiniest bit. I always use my ring finger because you can't put a lot of pressure on with your ring finger. They say you should put your eye cream on with your ring finger, don't they? Because you can't drag.
Yeah.
So you do your gilding waxes with it as well. And then just go, oops, I got a little mark. Just go over the brown with your gilding wax. And it's just going to give it that metallic look. So the brown's going to come through. Can you see how that's just popping? But tiniest bit at a time. Go back and do 10, 20 applications with it rather than, you know, go on with a big clump. Just nice and light. Now, if you want the gilding wax, you'll find it on the website. And what I'm also going to do, just for fun, because I can, I'm going to add a little bit to my lilies. And actually, that's bringing out some of the greens in my, it's really enhancing the colours that I've inked up those water lilies with. Just bringing it through, just to give it a nice, it's almost like the sun is reflecting off there. I just want to, can you see on that, does that just sparkle on the bridge?
When it catches the light, you can.
It does, doesn't it? Take a little bit of gilding wax at a time and just build it up. Don't go heavy. It's so easy. I've done it. Grab a bit, poof, and it doesn't move. You can't take it away. There we go. I think that looks just perfect. So that was, I mean, that pot of gilding wax, put the lid on nice and tight, and it will literally last years and years and years. Okay, so we've got the next layer of our card, which I think is looking rather super. And I'm going to attach that to another piece of gold. So again, it's coated cardstock, so I'm going back in with my tacky glue. And we're going to, oh, I normally do it with my, right, normally we use a fine tipped applicator, just because that then reduces how much glue, and really that much, let me just try and drag that down, because I've taken it straight out of the bottle, because I had it to my hand, I didn't think. That is as much as you need, just that fine application. Just going to spread that glue about, there we go. And then on here. And again, I can move it around. Now look at this, I've got a little bit of the glue there, but that's not a problem because once I've got it on, it's not going to damage the cardstock because it's water-based, and I can just rub it off, and anything that does ooze out will dry clear. There we go. There we are. And look at that. That is now, I'm just using the heat of my hand. Sometimes some people come onto the back just to burn it down. Because remember, we've raised the back of the card. That card isn't flat because it's embossed. So it might just take a minute longer to stick down. So once we've done that, I'm just going to turn that over and I'm just going to attach some foam. Foam pads, foam tape. It's entirely up to you. You use whichever one you want. But sometimes it's just nice to add a little bit of height and a little bit of dimension to your project, which is what we're doing there. So let's bring, oh, I can just see that lifting off at the corners. Do I need a little bit more glue? I think I do. I didn't get right to the corners. Let's come right into the corner here. There we are. Let's just push that down. Oh, that's better. There we go. That looks much better for getting the corners caught down. And then we're going to add our next layer on. So we can put this onto here. Now, if you've got any questions about anything I've done so far, I'm really trying to make sure we go through each step of the way. So, you know, if we're highly unlikely to get through 6 demos in this show, because I want to really break it down. But look at that. Look at how those colours pop right on there. Now we're nearly done. We just need a couple of little embellishments on here. So we're going to use our water lily stamp and dies. So Becky was showing you these. They're brilliant. So what you've got is you've got the stamps and you've got the dies that match those two. So I like to stamp using a stamping platform. So this is really easy. So what it is, it's just a platform. The bits fit, the little feet fit into the notches. So when you press down, every time you press down, it's always stamping in the same place. Perfect. So I'm going to grab my piece of card. Now, I've picked up a slightly different piece of card this time. This is called Nina card, and it's Crafter's Companions alcohol-proof card. So it's what we use when we're going to use our alcohol pens, so that we can do a little bit of blending. So let's just get our flower. We can pop 1, oh, come on, peel off, 2. Now I just need to make sure I've left enough room around the edge because I've got like about a 1 millimetre border to my die. So I just need to make sure that it'll fit. Just, that would be perfect. Right, so put those down. I'm going to pick them up with my stamping platform, so they're stuck on there, and then I'm going to use my alcohol-proof ink. Now, a lot of people are put off stamping because you've got to use the opposite ink to the pens that you're going to colour with. So I'm colouring with an alcohol-proof pen, so I need a water-based ink. It gets confusing, and I don't like that. I love Crafter's Companion for making this simple. Alcohol-proof ink means I can use my alcohol pens. Now, that goes back into exactly the same feet, and that will now stamp onto there. Now, if I haven't got a perfect stamped image, that doesn't matter because I can go back in. Oh, look, can you see? Yeah. I didn't press enough pressure. So I just go back in, put some more ink just there, and then we can turn that over. Let's make sure I'm on there. Go down, make sure it's lined up, and then we can press, and perfect. Brilliant. Just got a little, actually, I must be missing a bit. Either that or I've got a bump in my table. There we go. Perfect.
That's it. See, that's a brilliant one to have if you're a beginner, the stamping platform.
Absolutely.
And from my memory, we are really low in stock, so I just thought I'd mention that because that's a bit of a game changer.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Right, so I'm going to take my stamped image and I'm just going to line my die over the top. So I want to look for that that one there you go, that one goes that way around. So all I do is when I'm trying to line them up, I just find one petal. So can you see that one's got a little kink? I can see that kink there. So that goes that way. Otherwise, I end up going, no. So I just find it easier to look for one. So I want one that bends down that way, which is that one. So as soon as I put it on that way, that lines up. Now, I can line those up, but if I line them up and don't tape them down, they will move as I lift my plates up to my die cutting machine. So I can put a piece on there. I'm trying to tape as much as I can onto the waist, because that way I know I'm not going to snag my card. There we go, one more just on there. So I'm just lining it up. So these are really easy to line up because they're hollow dies. So you can see exactly what you're doing. Then I'm going to go back in. So I've got my cutting plate, my magnetic shim, my plastic shim, and my second cutting plate. And then I'm going to offer it up to the machine. So this is the same machine, same plates, but a different combination that I use for my embossing folder. Same machine, it's going to take exactly the same time to do what it needs to do, but I'm just using that to go through there. And that's going to go, take that off there, and that now will have cut, just rolling that tape off very gently. There we go. Look at that with the perfect border all the way around. So clever. Die cutting never gets tiring. I think it's one of those that you still get chuffed with the results years after doing it. The only rule you have to you really have with die cutting is your dies must never cross, because that's when you damage them, because the pressure, especially in something like a Gemini, is so strong that you could do it some serious damage if you let them overlap. Now that's a scrappy piece of card. So all I'm going to do, put my die cuts on here. As I said, alcohol paper, because I'm going to use an alcohol pen. So these are our tri-blends. So it's the same colour in there, but it's diluted to different strengths. So this is blue turquoise, 3, 4 and 5. So if I just show you on here, that's 3, that's 4. Can you see it getting a little bit darker? And then that is 5. So they're exactly the same as our Classique pens, but just with the 3 colours, so it's perfect for blending. And I'm going to do this really simply. I'm just going to come down. So, now, when we were talking about this collection earlier, and I think you said something about it being very sort of Monet-inspired. I think it is. So we're just sort of doing a nice sort of, gentle colouring. We're not going to go over the top. We're just going to colour in just there. So let's just colour in here. We don't have to go OTT with this. Then we're going to come in with our next one, and we're just going to bring up a slightly darker colour and to there, and just like that. Let's just bring in that colour, and then the last one with this colour, and then we can just come around the edge with that darker colour, I think. And then finally, with this last one, just darkest colour. Now what we could do is you could really blend these together, but I don't want to. I sort of want that colour change. So I'm just going to colour that. Now, if you are new to Crafter's Companion and you think colouring is what you would like to do, go and look at our Academy of Colour, because that is all about colouring. Now, there you go, you can see I've just done some rough colouring on there, and what you can then do is you can colour them, the 3 of them, to get this effect, just like that. Can you see, just on there? So that's where I started, and that's where I've ended up. Really, really simple. Now, we could layer these up. We could use them individually, or as Becky was showing you on that board, we could layer them up. And we could layer them up like that, and it would look beautiful. But if I get a ball tool and a foam mat, this is actually a different foam mat, and I've left mine behind. I was still in holiday mode and forgot to bring all of mine with me. So I'm just going to shape those like that, and I'm going to turn that one over and just shape a bit on the back of there. So just adding pressure, breaking down those fibres and adding a little bit of shape. Everybody shapes differently, and there's no right and there's no wrong way. You shape how it works right for you.
I like that. It should be on an inspirational poster.
Yes.
You shape how it feels right to you.
That's it. I'm just doing a little bit of that. There we go. Right, now I've got my hot glue gun here. So this is exactly what it says, a glue gun with hot glue in it. Oh, you can't see it there. Let me bring it in where you can actually see. I forget what you can and can't see sometimes. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to the back of one. Now, hot glue dries quickly at hold, so that's why I like to use it when I'm making flowers, because what I do, I know it's going to hold really, really quick. So I'm using my ball tool to make sure that I haven't got big lumps of glue behind. And then we'll put the glue on the next one. And that's going to go, let's go that way. And again, let's put the ball tool in there. Then we can shape. And then the last one we can put on there.
And
now you could use your wet glues.
Oh, that's exactly what I was just going to say.
Right,
It just takes a bit longer, doesn't it?
It just takes a bit longer. I need to hold this up, so I just find that I do like the hot glue for flower making. It's often my glue of choice. Because I can lift that up. I know that once I've let go, it's going to stay exactly where I left it. And the final little bit I have got is the tiniest little bit of an embellishment. And then I've just got a couple of little gems in a beautiful pale blue. So we can add 1, 2, do like a little accessory, 3, and then 1 more, 4. Oh, come on, pick up. It's stuck to my mat. There we go. Come on off. There we are. Into the centre of my flower, just like that. And that is our first project. That's the first project of the new Beautiful Beginnings.
Way! And what a beautiful start to the Beautiful Beginnings. It's amazing that, isn't it, considering you have seen that from start to finish.
Yeah.
Literally, the only thing we didn't do was show you how to cut it down, but you know how to cut things out, right? Perfect. Thank you so much for showing us that. It was great, isn't it? If you do want the collection, you've got the big collection, which is what we're looking at here, which I've run you through. But the thing is here at Crafters TV, that one of the things I love about us is we are here to help you, we're here to be a family, we're here to support each other, and we realise that especially if you're starting out, you might not want to invest that amount of money, although that is a bargain today, you're saving £56, but you might not want to invest that much in it. So I'm gonna give you smaller options, okay? So have a little look at these other options for you that are more affordable. Obviously you don't get as much, but you will still get plenty in there. So for example, you're getting the sheets of paper, you're getting some dies in there, and you're also getting the stamp and die set of the flowers that we've just used them. That today is just £29.50 or $38.50. Another option for you, if maybe you've done it before, or maybe actually you really like the theme of this, but maybe those colours aren't for you, you know, in the paper pad, because let's face it, we've all got different tastes. You might be more into creating neon disco dragonflies. If so, just get the dies and the stamps and then use whatever card you've got. It's for you today, £38 or $47. I've also got for you now your stencil and embossing folders. So these ones are the emboss folder we've just used, that 3D one. I've also got some lovely stencils there, and you can use them as a whole picture, or you can use them individually. That's just £12.50 or $15.50. Also today, I've got your dancing dragonfly embellishments. Now these are the things that people usually get the big pack and then they purchase these ones separately, because although you get them in the big collection, you'll use them and you'll want more because they're really delightful. £7.50 or $10. Now I will just let you know that we've also got a final option, which is for all of you who just need to stock up on your paper, because that's the thing that we generally love and adore. So in here you've got 6x6, and what I mean by that, because it always makes me feel like I'm down DIY shop. All right, Tony, I'll have some 6x6. What I mean by that is I'm not getting some decking. It's 6 inches by 6 inches. So it's 6-inch booklet of loads of papers. You've also got it in the 12-inch size. Then I've got some A4 in these like really nice glossy cards. I've also got vellum, which is the translucent that I showed you before. And then you've got the foiled card, which is what Corinne used as the base in her design just then. One thing I do want to point out to you whilst we're looking at this is the information that is currently on your screen. Go and buy anything you want at crafterscompanion.com or .co.uk or .eu, depending on where you are in the world, to treat yourself to any of these, because there's plenty on there. One other thing I would like to mention to you in the Dancing Dragonflies is if you are brand new, because you've tuned in, because one of your mates who's been with us for a while has gone, oh, watch this new show, it's made for you. If that is the case, can I just let you know, if you've not ordered with us before, maybe you've had us on your peripheries, you've had a little eye on, but you've not actually purchased before. Today, for you, for your first order, you are paying the prices that are in the purple. So on that one that we've just had then, it was like not £99, it was like £79. So that's what you're getting as a special deal today. Now, this information is currently on your screen for a reason. I'm just going to tell you what we're talking about, because, you know, I don't want to ramble on if you're not sure. I'm talking about these brand new treats. Brand new Gilding flakes that we absolutely love. In fact, we know how much we love them because Susan got in touch before. Hey up, Susan. Susan said, I got up at 3 a.m. this morning to order my Gilding flake and foam set because I didn't want to miss out on these. Well done to you. Because look at what's just coming now. Limited stock. Now this is seriously limited. Partway through the demonstration, I didn't want to interrupt because we were getting into the nitty gritty and I don't want to interrupt then. But we have got for you now, partway through that demo, we had 85% gone. We're now at 90% gone. I have literally got 10% left of this collection and that is it. And that is 10%, not of what's here, that's 10% that we've got in our storehouse. This launched today, this afternoon. I've got 90% gone on this. So really do treat yourself to this quickly. And do you know what? So that you're not like stressing and trying to listen to me yammer on and watch demos and all the rest of it. If you've had your eye on it and you've gone, I'll leave it a bit, I'm gonna give you minutes now to grab this. I've literally got 10% of the stock left. This ain't gonna last till the end of the show. I highly doubt it. If you would like it, check out whilst we watch this.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
I think I've always been a little bit crafty. I used to craft when I was very young, and I say craft, I used to take a needle and a cotton and sew all my own clothes, tie-dye and things like that. South Yorkshire's a gorgeous place. Barnsley in particular, I love. We get a lot of flack, but it's a really beautiful, picturesque place to live, especially because there's lots of green places around there, lots of lovely parks and things like that, but it is a gorgeous place to live. So the people who inspire me, well, the people who inspire me most, especially into craft, was my Auntie Jean, who's no longer with us, but I give her always a big shout out because she absolutely introduced me properly into the passion of paper crafting. I followed Craig for a long time before he actually joined Crafters Companion, and I always loved his style. I used to follow his blogs, all these things that he used to do on Facebook and all the various companies that he used to work for, and then I absolutely felt honoured when he joined our team. You know what's lovely about having all this amazing team from Craig, Jan, Debbie, Michelle, Becky? Have I missed anyone? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I have, but it's lovely because they're like-minded people. We love and passionate about craft, especially Crafters Companion. So for me, having that lovely team is just phenomenal, and I wouldn't be without them literally every single day. I have a big love affair that has been going now for 41 years with a certain group called Bucks Fizz, or as they are now known, The Fizz. When I got that phone call, well, firstly, I had the email saying, would I like to come and join? And I used to work in the Crafters Companion store, I was assistant manager there. But when I got that email, I thought at first, is this a joke? Because I had to check, was this a joke? But when I actually went for the interview and went through the process, when I got that phone call from Laura to tell me that they had wanted me on that TV team, that for me to date is the biggest, proudest moment I've ever had working for Crafters Companion in the 6 years that I've been here.
Welcome back and welcome to Crafters TV and welcome to Beautiful Beginnings, our brand new show. I know, smells like a new car. We have had so many treats already on the show for you. 90% of my stock on this brand new treat is already gone, just to let you know. We've also had the glue pens, which are like lower in stock now too. And essentially, we've had so many goodies. Wait, up and we've had this. This has been really popular. The Crafters inspiration with like the magazine and all of the extra bits and bobs that you get in here as well. So you're getting loads of lovely things like the sentiments. Don't know if you've seen these yet. You might have seen them, but yeah, you've got some wonderful sentiments there that are like mix and match. All of them come in it. But so does this massive magazine with loads of sort of ideas in it. You're getting stencils in here, you're getting dies in it, you're getting papers in it, you're getting absolutely loads. These on the back are just some of the things that you're going to learn how to make. So there's some lovely elements in here, but this has been really, really popular as well. So my point is, we've had loads of things that have been really popular on today's show, and they've all been very much, as always with crafts, anyone can use any of them, but we've kind of focused on those wonderful beginning steps. And the item I'm going to bring to you now, I think before Crafters Companion came along and reinvented the way we do this, if someone had said to me, we're going to do iris folding on a beginner's show, nope, it would make no sense. Because iris folding, back before we kind of did a little bit of a shake-up of these, where you might have to cut out your own design, create your own stencil, cut out your own strips, work out the dimensions, how they fold over each other. It was, back in the day, very time-consuming, and sometimes you want craft that is wow factor and you don't mind spending time. But sometimes you want craft that is wow factor, but you can whip up pretty quick. And that's what this collection is. Now, I'm going to show you, before I show you all the components, just the element of the look you get with an iris card. The iris card design itself is this butterfly here. Now, can you see how it looks like we've gone in and coloured all of these individually? If I'm really quiet, you might be able to hear. That is because this is layer upon layer of folded paper, beautifully created and overlapped together to give you this undulation of the layers and light that almost gives you an origami style effect. But it does it quickly. You have got true dimension in here because all of this is layered up folded elements. And all you need is your strips of paper, which in this collection you've got. Also, you're going to want your template, which in this collection you've got. And by the way, that's reusable, like over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And you don't even just have to use these papers, you can use any. The bit that we've sort of brought to you here to make it perfect for beginners are the dies. The dies you will cut out, and you will be able to create this beautiful piece without having to use the faff of your scissors. You know, when you have to cut something out as opposed to in, and then you cut it out and then you miss a bit or you skip a bit or your scissors slip or whatever. With this, it's done in seconds. So you can create that design from day dot. Or if you got you a bit more sort of glamorous, you want a bit more of a glam feel, you can create this from day dot. Have you been to a party or you want to make for someone going to a party? Well, there we go. We've got this one, again, with your balloons. You can make that day dot. Speaking of balloons, what about people who love going on adventures? You can create this. If you don't like that colour palette, don't use those ones. Why don't you mix it up? What about creating this in like a pink colour with some blue splashes? You can mix and match because it's your design. I've got a present here. Great for birthdays, great for Christmas, great again for anything you can set your mind to. And then I've got your cheers. This here could look like a bottle of fizz, it could look like a bottle of pop, it could look like a bottle of cider, it could look like a bottle of beer, it could look like anything that's a bottle, including HP sauce, or that's brown sauce here in the UK. HP, named after the Houses of Parliament, you're welcome. A little bit of a fun fact there. Bit of my condiment fact. Yeah, it's called Houses of Parliament. The background is the Houses of Parliament, isn't it? Yeah, Houses of Parliament sauce. Anyway, you can make it look like whatever you set your mind to. All of this here for you today should be nearly £90. It's 30. 30. Yep, really. And don't forget, if this is your first show, you're going to get it all for £24. I know, or $40. This is something which looks complex, but the tools really help, don't they?
Yes, they really do. So what we're going to give you in the set, and I'm going to look at the up, up and away. I think this would make the perfect new baby card. Is you're going to get the die to cut out the aperture, and then you're going to get the template, oops, there we go, to do your iris folding. So iris folding is something that developed back in the 20th century in Holland, I so believe, and it's named that because it looks like the iris in the middle of a camera, that shutter which opens and shuts, and that's where that sort of effect comes from. Now on some of them, where they're not symmetrical, like we had with the balloons this morning, you'd think, well, it's not going to match. This one's actually symmetrical, so it's a bit misleading, but you just sort of, you're doing it on reverse, and I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to cut our balloon out. So I've just put it onto some card. So it doesn't have to be white card like I did this morning. It can be whatever colour you want. You could do it, you could cut your aperture into some mirror card. You could, as long as it's strong enough to hold it. So you need a stronger card for your aperture, and then we're going to use these paper strips to do the iris folding with. So there we go. So this will now pop out, and that's created my aperture. And that will then fit perfectly over there. Actually, think it through, Corinne. I need it on reverse. There we go. I need it on the reverse because I'm going to work from the back. I nearly messed that up then. I'm just going to put a piece of tape. I'm going to have to move my tape in a minute, but let's just put my tape. Actually, I'll do this, and then I'll tape it down, and then we can move it in a minute. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we come along here as well. So we're just going to start down here. So what I want to do is I'm just going to take a piece of paper. So these are the little 6 by 1 inch strips of paper, and they're in planes and dots, and they're in colour coordination. So you'll get one of those books for each of your dies. It's got 108 pieces in there. So for this one, I'm just going to do this slightly different for the very first one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just around there and there and there. And I'm just going to put number 1 to here. There you go. That's going to go just there. So I haven't folded it, I've just stuck a piece on. Now what you then need to do is you then need to fold your strips in half, and I'll show you how easy that is to do. All you need to do is get yourself a scoreboard, because you need a nice crisp fold. So all I'm going to do is, I've got my black line down the middle so I know it's straight, and then I'm going to take the the rounded edge of my score tool and I'm going to score down there. I'm not taking the sharp edge because if I press down too hard with that, it'll go through here. Now you need a thinner paper for here. Now originally, I believe Irish folding, when it originated in Holland, they used the linings from envelopes. So you can see that was like that very dainty, you know, fine paper. Let's just hold that down a little bit tighter because it just keeps moving. So, but we can get that there. There we go. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to follow my numbers. So I've done number 1. I'm then going to put number 2 on. So I've got my fold here. Just make sure it's a nice crisp fold. And I'm just going to put number 2 across there. So I'm going to do it so that it's not visible from the other side. So I'm going to put a little bit of wet glue. You can use tape if you want, but I just need to make sure that that is behind here. I don't want it poking out past there. Press that down. And then I'm going to just trim that one off. Because it's folded, I'm just going to go in and put an extra little piece of tape, of glue. Now, if you wanted to, you could get a little bit of tape and you could also just tape to there. But I'm not going to tape all of it. I'm just going to do that for that one just to show you. So then I'm going to do number 3 just to there. Let's actually just cut this. It might be easier to do that. So where that line is, that's where I put my fold. Then I'm going to do number 4, just to there, and then I'm just going to put... Now just remember, no one is going to see the back. That's the great thing about Irish folding, is all these workings are hidden out of sight. So actually that one is not going to be seen at all, so we can put, it doesn't matter which way around we put that, and then we're going to put some glue. Now you can then do... So if I look at this, I can see here, and this is... I'm going to do round... I'm going to do up to, let's come up here a little bit. I've got a square there, so I'm going to take that square as my next one. So I'm going to do all the way around the outside in the yellow. So I've folded up some of my yellow strips, and we're going to start applying these. So I'm going to do number 1 first, and I'm going to apply it just there. Let's just give it a little trim, and we can put number 1 on. And this is getting that staggered effect that Becky was telling you about. Now this is a great thing, tacky glue works really, really well because it dries so quick if you only use a little bit. Number 2. Now I wonder why it then tells me to do number 3 up there. Well, it's telling me to, isn't it? So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to trust the process.
Do.
Yep. That's what it's all about. There we go. So I'm going to put number 3 up here.
I think the reason it does it that way is because if you were to just follow it around in a spiral, you'd be adding. So actually it'd be a bit wonky.
Do you think it would?
Like in thickness. If you went like thin layer, thin, fatter, it'd be like lopsided, wouldn't it?
It might be, yeah.
It's a guess. We did have a message in actually, just asking, why do you fold the paper and not just leave it flat?
Because if you leave it flat, you're going to get that edge, that thin edge. If you fold it over, you get a really nice curved edge. It's as simple as that. It's nothing more complicated than that. It just gives you a nicer finish.
It's a bit of a chunkier look too, isn't it? It's a bit more obvious.
When you start layering them up together, it just looks much nicer when you have that together like that. And again, like I say, some of these I've done before. I'm going to find another place to stick this down because it needs a little bit of stick, but I'm going to have to keep moving my tape. Let's put that in there so it holds. So what was that? That was number 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do number 5 down here. I also think as well, coming down like this, it's also helping me to maximise my papers that I'm using as well.
That's always nice when you don't have to use too much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of you getting in touch about these and chatting about your journey because this is our first ever Beautiful Beginnings show. Hello to Shannon, who said, I started scrapbooking in my early years and now I'm more into cards. The first CC item I bought was the Ultimate Pro and the OG Gemini. That's a good pairing, isn't it? If you know. That's a good 2 things to get your hands on, I'd say.
OG being our original
Gemini. So that's the one that Corinne's got next to her.
Yeah. Now don't throw, if you've got some bits that are not long enough, don't throw them away because the chances are you'll come across another bit in a minute where you can use them. So we can keep going. I'm just going to go around with a few and then I'll show you. So this, I'm on to number 6 now, which is much smaller than number 5. So this little piece that I couldn't use in number 5 will work perfectly in number 6, just there. Now, again, this is almost coming off the edge of my card. So I'm going to take that and then I'm just going to lift that up and I'm just going to trim. Again, don't worry, it doesn't have to be pretty and neat on the back. It's, oh, let's just trim that down. There we go. There we are. If you were using a larger piece of card to, you know, to cut your aperture out, that wouldn't come to the edge. It's just because of the size I've come to. That was 6. 7. Have I done 7? 5. Can anybody see 7?
Oh, sorry. I'm quite far away from my
No,
screen.
I can't see 7. So I'm going
Was
to go
7 in the basket? Did you cover that up earlier on?
No. No. Have I done it already? Let me lift that up. I've done it. I've jumped.
Oh, it was at the top. There you are.
I've
next
jumped.
to. There you are.
I did it. I must have jumped. Doesn't matter. And I can go on to 8 now. That was mine. So I've used up the oh, I can do 8 out of that. For this one, it's not too vital about the order at this point. It's going to get more vital in a minute, if you know what I mean, once we start getting closer to the numbers. At the moment, at that point, that didn't matter that I did 7 before 6. And if you get to anywhere you think it could do with a little bit of extra strength, extra support, then just get yourself a little piece of low tack tape, masking tape, anything you want. You don't need to take it off when you're finished. You can just put those on just like that. So now I'm going to get another strip. Oops, I've just tried to move that and lifted that. Just hold on, there we go. Another strip, we're going to pop it on here. You will be glad of your 108 strips when you're done, because you go through them. You're not going to go through them that fast, but you're going to go through them a bit.
Don't forget, you can buy them by themselves if you want to. You get 648 different sheets. Don't forget, you can mix and match them also. And don't forget that, as you can see Corinne's doing, you're just using little bits of the strips at a time on these. So if you do want to seize the moment with just the papers by themselves, that is available. Whilst I've got you as well, Susan sent in a lovely message saying, I was surprised at how easy the iris folding was. I was nervous at first, but after I got going on it, I couldn't believe how fun it was, and I suggest anyone thinking of trying them have a go at it. And that's a really nice message. Thank you for that, Susan, because I think sometimes when you are new, it's hard to know what's a good one to give a go of.
Yeah.
So Susan says that she was nervous as well, but actually now loves it. So this might be a great one to start off with, because again, it does look professional, but you can do it as a beginner.
Oh, of course you can. Of course you can. I am very, very new to iris folding, extremely new to iris folding. So, it was something that I had never done before. But do you know what? Having the kit makes it so much easier. Now, I'm not worried that it's slipping off my template every now and again. It really isn't a problem because I can just line it back up. I've got a piece of tape there that's doing it. So I'm just let's do a couple of sheets of the strips quickly. That one just wants a little bit more glue just down there. There we go. Don't need to worry too much about the glue because, as we said before, it all dries nice and clear. But if you don't want to use glue, just use a tape. I've seen these done before where every piece is attached with a piece of washi tape.
Yes.
Looks absolutely fine because it's, like I said, it's all behind the project. So all I'm doing is, you could just do your bow folder. I'm just using my nails to go across there. So where are we up to? Number 11. I'm not going to do it, don't worry, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do 36, I promise. I'm just going to do a few more just to show you. So we've got to 11. Get it in the right place. Don't be stingy, make sure you go right over the edges if you need to. It's better than ending up with little gaps because that will ruin the illusion. 11, then 12 is down here.
Hello to Miriam, who's talking about when Miriam got started. Said, I've been scrapbooking for over 30 years. You don't look old enough. I started card making about a year ago. So much to learn and have everything I have learned from this group. That's so lovely. And it's really true, isn't it, Miriam, that not just your craft experts, but obviously other people and friends that you've met, through our socials and comments and stuff, really do help each other out. So I think that's really nice of you. Thank you for that message. There's lots of you getting involved with when you started. Judy said, I did a very simple card years ago, but I just found this channel late last year. I'm getting back into it and I want to restart, but want to get much better this time. Thanks all at CCTV. You have taught me so much. Judy, that's lovely. So you did it a bit, you had a break, and then you've come back to it and it's kind of starting again, but you want to progress further. And that's lovely, because crafting is something you can dip in and out of.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. It depends where you are in life, what's going on in your life, do you know what I mean? I've had times when I've done more crafting than others, because of the family, commitments with the family, if you've had to, there were times when Corin's cabs have been in such demand that I haven't been able to craft.
Yeah.
I did think at one point I needed a sign for the top of the car, but there you go, life happens, doesn't it? Right, I'm going to do number 15, and then I've virtually got a square and you can see. So let me just do that one, and then we can see, and then we're going to go in with, show you how you just go in with some other colours as well, and then we're done. So we're nearly, this is the bit that takes time. But the great thing is, this is what I'd call a silent craft. And we all need silent crafts from time to time. Crafts that you can do in the family room, I tell you what, a lot of people like crafts that they can do late at night. And I can feel that. I mean, at the moment, my body doesn't know when day in, night, and I have the 4 o'clock wake-ups at the moment.
Oh, bless you.
Drive me demented. Me and the dog, we go downstairs for hours.
Oh, do you watch telly, or?
I usually get on my iPad or just sit and read, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, now, I'm just going to turn that over and look at that. Now, let's just trim that one off. So this is a perfect nighttime craft, because you're not going to make any noise. Now, look at that. Can you see how we're just going round in that corkscrew, and you can see the lens effect there. Now, all we're going to do now is, I'll just show you this one, just to show you. So all I did was then change colours. So once I got to about 19, we then went round the next colour, and then a flat one in the middle. 36 is a flat one, it's not folded. Just gone in with a pen, just to do a faux stitch. And that is my topper. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Now,
Really nice.
it would have taken a bit longer. So all I've done is I put my foam tape round. I haven't put foam tape in the middle because it's starting to raise a little bit. So it would sort of bobble up in the middle of the card. So all we're going to do, let's go in with our Collage glue, our solvent-based adhesive, because we've got no mirror card, nothing with a coating on, so it's absolutely fine to go in with, like I say, a solvent-based glue. Now, can you see a little bit of glue has oozed out? Don't worry, it rubs straight off, and if you get it, it just rubs straight off. It's gone. And if you get a little mark, just keep rubbing, and it just rubs away. It's a brilliant glue for that. Then we're going to come in with my green. So these are exactly the same colours. I've just got them out of my stash. So these have come from our Everyday Brights paper pad, because they are absolutely the perfect colours to match up with my strips. So we can then come on to the next one. Can you see it moves? Just be careful you don't let it move too far. And then we can put on there. So I've just got my yellow, my green, and then I'm coming in with my blue that matches the middle. And this works really well with having the blue as the last colour, because we're not overpowering with the blue. But what a beautiful card this would be for new baby. I keep coming back to new baby shower. I just think it would be so, so gorgeous. Make sure I've got my card open the right way, and then we can put that on. I've stamped out a sentiment. Now this is from, we have our subscription boxes, and subscription box 50 had some sentiments in. They all usually have sentiments in, and this one was from subscription box 50. And then from this collection, let me just get some little foam pads. In this die set you have some little clouds, so I've just taken one of the little clouds, just using some foam pads on the back, because for me they're the perfect way to lift. And then I'm just putting them over to the right hand side, just on there, so that that can come off the edge of my card. And that, so can you see we've balanced up the card here, just so people know why I put that on the left and that on the right. We've just got that symmetry and that balance. And that is our iris folding card. Isn't that fun?
Ta-da! I love it. It's fab. You know, we've been seeing its praises. Miriam's also messaged in saying, I got the box kit for iris folding to see if I would like it. One of the best purchases I have made. I love iris folding. The cards are beautiful. Thank you for messaging that in, because it is one of those that I think needs to be seen to be believed, yeah? You can treat yourself to this, give it a go, because it is a fantastic deal today, really, isn't it, if we're honest? We're bringing to you all of these different designs. Again, you do get all of the papers, multiples of them. And you're getting them in different looks and designs, which of course you can use in different forms. So if you don't want a pink dress, don't use a pink dress, use the blues from this one, mix it up, it's up to you. So all of these different designs in here you're getting with the corresponding dies for sentiments, etc. You can seize the moment on those right here, right now. Just £30, £24 if it's your first purchase. £24 only. Could you actually buy a realistic bottle of this for that price? If it even a semi-decent one, and not even a champagne. Do you know what I mean? Something that's similar, like Cava or Prosecco. Yeah, at £24, something like that is just astonishing. It really is. And if it's anything like my household, the real life bottle will not last as long. We've got plenty more goodies in for you, and one of them is for the Essential Tool Collection. If you are new, this is kind of one of those that it does what it says on the tin. It is like the ultimate essential toolkit. I'm going to start you off by showing you the guillotine. This isn't like the olden day ones you used to have at school, you know, where you had to watch out for your fingers and all the rest of it. This is a proper crafting one, safety barriers and all. Earlier on, when we talk about sizes, you might have heard some things that if you, like me, have got a slight fear of numbers, it's like when someone says things like, you know, 7 1/4. You think, hey, what? 3 2/3, whatever. That's what all of these grids are here. They help you line up. You've got your measurements at the top. You've also got an element here that you saw Corinne use a similar device to it to fold the iris cards. All you do is you get that, go down the groove, it folds it, and then this is the element of a self-sharpening blade that will cut your paper, your cards, your bases to the size you require. Bringing you that. I've also got you a set of scissors. These are specially coated so stuff doesn't stick to them. It's got your Japanese stainless steel blades, notorious within the crafting world to be the creme de la creme. I've got precision tweezers. These are great for loads of different crafts. It means that you don't get, you know, you can get into those areas, those nooks and crannies. Also means that you can pick up things and place them as they need to be. Also means that if you're using things like a heat gun, you can actually hold these, obviously out of the way and not for too long, but to make sure your hands aren't in the way. I've also got your pokey tool. You'll use this for many different things. Intricate popping out designs, also holding stuff down as well. Cleaning out your dies too, it can be used. All of those together are just $24.99 or $34.95 today. So again, if you do want to seize the moment on that, you absolutely and completely can. Those tools are really useful, very much, you know, sort of handy essentials. But here, if you don't have a die cutting machine, this one is most certainly an essential, because quite frankly you won't be able to do any of the die cutting that we've spoken to you about without a machine like this. Now we do different sizes of machines. Some of them you plug in, this one you don't. So if you are, you know, thinking about your bills, your electricity bills, then this could be a really good one for you to have a go of right now. These come in different sizes. This one that we're seeing here is nice travel size, but it will stay and sit at home. And it is one that you will maneuver, you don't have to plug it in. I'm bringing to you 2 sets of dies. So you'll get a die that when you cut it out, you use them all differently. You can layer them up. Thank you so much. And then you get all of these wonderful die designs too. And then I've got a plethora of our fabulous Centura Pearl cardstock. So these, as you can see, you've got lovely shimmery elements in there, fabulous, bright, bold, fun colours. Perfect if you wanted to use them with that rainbow dye that you've got in the collection. You've got all of that in there. Now, normally you'd expect to pay more for the likes of a machine that is as powerful as this. You'd be looking at spending more than that on what's on your screen. Today, though, I'm bringing you all of it for just £35 or $45. It is a great way to be able to make cards. All you'd really need to add to it if you are starting out is glue, and if we're being really, really stingy with it, that's kind of it. You don't even need things like card bases because you can make that out of Centura Pearl if you wanted to. So if you really are on a tight budget and you're starting out, I'd say grab your hands on this and grab yourself some glue and you'll be well on your way. This is £35 or $45 for you for the whole kit and caboodle. Again, plenty of you texting us in, messaging us in, and you can get involved with us on our social media. Don't forget, if you have got any questions, hello to, where have you gone? Michelle, you've asked, what size would you cut your paper if you used your own? So what size would you cut your paper if you used your own?
For your iris folding, I would still cut them at 1-inch strips. You can have them as long as you want. So if you've got 12 by 12 papers, just cut it into 1-inch strips, put it on your scoreboard, fold it in half, and then just keep trimming them while you use it. You know, the longer your paper, the more you're going to get out of them, because you're not going to end up with lots of little fiddly bits. So yeah, I would go 1-inch strips, folded in half, so that your finished piece is always half an inch.
Perfect. And don't forget, you can use anything we were saying before. Old magazines, you were mentioning old books.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like, you know, your tape reels from the inside of your old tapes. Fold them in half, see how that goes. There'd be a bit of a translucency there, wouldn't there? Because they're about 1 inch thick. I'm thinking of your old tapes as in back in the day before DVDs. Anyway, we have got for you more demos to come, and I want to dive into one now. It's all about these nesting dies. Nesting dies sit beautifully within one another so that you can create cut out elements that stack, or you can just use them individually. So I'm bringing to you all of these different designs. I've got for you your beautiful baubles, your sparkling snowflakes. I've got your holly and berries. I'm bringing to you your starry nights. I've also got in here the festive foliage, and finally I'm bringing to you the Yuletide bloom. All of these in together, £68.75 or $77.95. And these, when you work with them, can look really opulent, but that doesn't mean you can't use them as a beginner, does it?
It does not. I mean, I always say die cutting is a proper leveller. I don't know how much die cutting you've done in your time, Becky. I've cut a few dies, just a few. I'm guessing Becky hasn't cut as many dies as I have, but if I was to give her this die, we're going to use the beautiful baubles, and we both have the same piece of paper, we will both get the same results. It's a proper leveller. Whether it's your first cut or it's your 100th cut, 1000th cut, you're going to get the same results. The only bit that becomes a little bit different is what you do with it once you've got it cut. And you know, as you've done more and more, you get perhaps a little bit braver, and you pick up a few more techniques. So here we have our die. So yeah, it's just a raised piece of metal. I can't cut myself with a die if I hold it in my hand. It's not sharp enough to cut me. But what will happen is the pressure of our die cutting machine, i.e. our mangle, if you remember me saying, is going to press that die into the cardstock, and it's going to resist against my cutting plate. You always have a really hard cutting plate, and then it's going to cut. So these nesting dies, there are 3 dies in the set. So I've got 3 different pieces of paper, just some cream linen card. I've got some pattern paper. Now this is from our 'Tis the Season collection, and we did have that on yesterday. And then again some more of the linen paper. as well. Just a tiny little piece. Now it's very important, as we said before, that your dies don't overlap. That's your one rule for die cutting, because otherwise they could cause damage. Now I've not got those in the right order. I've put them down blase and it wasn't the right order. So let's start again. So on top of that, I'm going to put my magnetic shim. That's going to hold everything still. Then I'm going to put my clear mat down. So your plastic shim and your magnetic shim, it doesn't really matter which order they go in, but it's best to have your second cutting plate on the outside. That's because there's so much pressure inside the Gemini. The Gemini has got the best pressure on the market. That the pressure, if you've got your magnetic shim on, as soon as that starts to go through, it's just going to curl it. The pressure of the machine will just curl it. So by having the harder plate on the outside, it's going to protect your inner plate. Don't worry if it clunks and grunts and clicks and clacks as it goes through. That is just it cutting. Now, look at that. When you die cut, it almost looks like a little pencil. Can you see down here? Little pencil mark on the other side. So look at this, it's cut so well. I always try to make sure my tape goes onto the waste so that it will just pop out. We can get that one out. And then this one as well. So if I get the tape off, just there, come on, pop that out. Sometimes the die cut stays in the card, sometimes it comes out. Now this has come out of the die and out of the card in one go. All those little bits, little die brush will get them out. When Leanne's not about, I give them a little tap. There we go. So look at that. I've only got one little piece down there and a couple of little, these are cut, but they're just sitting in the card. If you've got what we call a die brush, you can brush them out. But there you go, there is so few in there. Then I've got my next layer. I love die cutting into pattern paper. I just think it gives you a lovely effect. And then my third one, and all the bits I've cut out of there as well. So those are my 3 layers. Get rid of all those bits. Do try to be a bit tidy as I go, but I don't succeed very often. I love watching Debbie Fisher craft because she is so clean and tidy as she goes. Oh, I've never known anybody like it. I'm in awe. Right, so I've got these, and then I've got my Fryer brown ink pad and another dauber, and I'm just going to pick up a bit. Now this actually was a red dauber. I couldn't find a brown one, but I actually like that because when I was testing it on my tissue, when I was adding the brown, I was getting quite a nice reddy brown, and I thought that it's a really good colour match to there. So actually I quite like that. So all I'm going to do is just come around the edges, and I'm just gently brushing away. I'm not going that way because it's going to snag it and, you know, rough up the edges, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to add a little bit of colour onto the edge just there, just to bring it to life, to just to give it a little bit of contrast. But look at that, how beautiful does that look? Just by adding that little bit of colour. I don't need to do it to the smallest one, but I'm just going to do it to this one as well, just to add in a little bit of colour. Just add in a little bit more interest.
Yeah.
And if you go to the edges, you can it'll darken a little bit more. And that's all I need to do. I'm not going anywhere near the middle. And actually, let's see if I must have slightly mucky fingers. No, that's inked on there. There we go. It doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. Most of that will be covered up. So I've got my 3 elements. I'm going to put those to one side while I get my card together. Let's try and get rid of some of that ink off here. And then I've got my card base. Now, you just said a few minutes ago, don't worry about card bases. You can make card bases. And we're going to do just that. Wow. So this is a piece of card, 5 1/4 by 8 3/4, and we've scored at 1.5 inches. So fold that over. So it doesn't look very card base like at the moment, but it will if you just trust the process. So I just want some red liner tape, and I'm going to get a piece of red liner tape, and I'm going to pop it. I'm just going to I've got some Gilding flakes on here, so I'm going to have to cut a bit off at the start. Put that on there, and then just trim that. I'm going to have to trim off that edge because it's lost its stick, or most of its stick. So what I'm going to put in here is I'm going to pop a piece of acetate. Okay. Let me just check. Now, our acetate comes with a protective film on. I think I'm just doing it in the corner where it won't say, yeah, the film's gone on this one. Yeah, it's been taken off. You prep these so far in advance you can never remember. Now, I've just got this, it's not the full length, I'm going to pop that there and I'm going to fold that over. Just to give it an added little bit of strength, I'm going to put a piece of red liner on the acetate as well. We can pop that one just there. Let's just straighten that back up. And all I need to do is take the backing off the tape. Now, call it red liner tape or super sticky tape. It gets different names, and that's just because I call it red liner tape because the backing is red. It is totally clear. So if I turn that over now, you can hardly see that red line, that tape at all. So I'm going to put another piece down at the bottom just here, making sure it does go onto the acetate. We don't want it to go onto the card base or it'll stick. And then what I've also got, if I can find it in my pile of here, is another piece of card exactly the same. That's 1.5 inch, sorry, 1.5 inch, and I'm going to put that at the bottom. So I've got what looks almost like a floating element in the middle. So we can put a piece of tape. I'm only putting 2 pieces of tape on just to give it a little bit of extra strength. There we go. That's going just there. So we can take that off just there, and then I'll take that one off, making sure I take that to the top, not the bottom. Line up the bottom just there, and that's on there. So all we've done is we've taken a piece of card and we've now made a card base with a floating bit in the middle, as you can see. It's just a bit slippy at the moment, but we're going to strengthen that in half a tick. So take that, and then I'm going to decorate this up. Now again, because it's a little bit delicate, we can come in with our collal glue and we can glue that down to really add extra strength. Now because this is a white cord card, some people like to go round the edge with a dauber just to get rid of the white cut lines. That's entirely up to you. Do that if you want. Put that down, just burnish that. And then I'm going to use the gorgeous look at that paper. Isn't it beautiful? And we can pop that on. There we go. We can pop this one on. And that's going just on there. Now, I'm just going to show you a top tip that I sometimes do. Okay. Once you put that on like that, I haven't done this today. Let me see. I sort of threw it under here. Right, now, I have got my brayer. And not a lot of people say they do this. Some people do. So what I've got is I've got this on and it's got glue underneath. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to run my brayer. I'm going to put a bit of pressure on. I'm going to run that up there. I can see a little bit of glue come out. That's fine. I'll just switch that off. What that's done is I find it just flattens my mats, and that makes them perfectly flat. It's smooched out the glue underneath, so I know I've not got any lumps and bumps. It's spread it to all the areas, and I just find it makes it even firmer. It's just something I often do. Nice. Everybody says, oh, that's a good idea when they see it, but it's something I've always done, especially when I'm making cards at home, you know, my special cards, and I want them to be nice and, you know, to line up. So all I'm trying to do now is, when I put this one on, I want to make sure that those line up. It's going to look so much nicer if you make sure your mats and layers all line up together. So that one's going to go just there. And again, using this collal glue, if I don't get it perfectly straight first time, I can move it. Just press that down. And then with my mats and layers, I'm going to use the pattern side up, or the detailed pattern side. It's patterned on both sides. Sorry, that was badly worded. I meant the detail pattern. We can line that, and making sure that that one lines up too. There we go. And then the final one. Now, if I was doing this at home, because I've used sort of such a wet glue, I might be tempted to leave it for a few minutes just to dry off. But we haven't got time for that, so we can manage. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my pieces, and I'm just going to pop them on to here. Now it's going to be easier to put my adhesive behind there. Now you can go wet glue, you can go red liner. Oh, should I do? I'm going to do red liner. I'm going to do red liner. Change my mind. I'm going to put some adhesive there, and this is really going to strengthen it. So I can come red liner just here, and just there. And then what I think I might do is I'm going to use my dotty tape pen. So if you watch us, you'll see us use our tape pens. We have two, dotty and straight. Dotty is brilliant for going over embellishments. So what it does is, because it's dots, you don't get the string between them. And the key to this is very light, gentle strokes. And you can see I've not got any glue on there and I've not got any strings showing through. Take your red back off your tape, Corinne. Take that off and it will stick a lot better. So the red liner tape or super sticky tape is going to hold it in the middle, and then the dotty tape pen is going to hold it around the edge, and that is going to add that stability. It's going to really firm it up, so that's going to join the top and the bottom and make it so much firmer. There we go, look at that, it sits down perfect. So let's get some foam pads, and then we can put these on the back of here. So just again, add in a little bit of height, a little bit of dimension and interest always helps. That one and that one just there. That's going like that. That one, and then the other little one that we cut, and I'm going to again put a couple of foam pads behind there. 1, 2, and that's going to go just here. And then I've cut this one out again in cream, and I've just stamped a sentiment. But what I'm actually going to do is, I've done it before with a slightly different ink. I'm just going to ink it again to bring the ink to matches a bit better. There we go, and then we can put that, and I'm just going to pop that on to there. Let's do that with a little bit of tacky glue. And we're nearly done with this because we don't need much more at all. Christmas blessings to you and yours, and that came from our from the Season's Greetings stamp and die set within the Tis the Season. So if you saw that yesterday, you'll have seen it. I'm going to come in with my solid tape pen. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just there, and then add a tiny little hand-tied bow. And how about that for using, can you see how much stronger it is now?
Lovely.
Using those beautiful nested dies.
That's just lovely. I feel festive already.
So do I.
If you do want to treat yourself, then it is your festive, your Christmas nesting die collection. You've got plenty in here to be having fun with, so most certainly do dive on, because you've got different shapes in here for the likes of your DL cards or your bookmarks. You've even got the sort of square into circle designs, and don't forget, you don't have to use the whole thing, just use one section of it if you want to for toppers. It looks great. $68.75 or $77.95. Now, we have got a very special brand new launch that we've had today, and it's this. Now, this is our Gilding flakes with our foam elements. Sorry, I've made a right mess of this. It went limited, about 40 minutes ago, probably. I need to let you know that I've got, was it 90% gone? We have checked, more people have checked out. Jamie's saying, without working out the maths precisely, we've got about 95% of our stock gone on this. It only launched today. So if you haven't managed to get it yet, it's really special. And you know what? It's perfect for beginners, this, isn't it? This is one of our most beginnery techniques, I would say, that we've done for you today. You're gonna get your Gilding flakes, which are these. Lovely treats here, and then what you'll get is the foam. So the foam is already cut out for you, and it's sticky, just like to the touch. You put your Gilding flakes over the top, rub them in with your finger, and then they'll look like this. This is the most beginnering of beautiful beginnery pieces that you can create. There's just loads. You get all of these different designs already in the foam. I will say to you on show today, we do also have other foam shapes cut out that you can find on our website. They don't. They come with different sets of Gilding flakes, but it's well worth a little look. These brand new colours, just $27.96 today, or $35.80. That's with a 20% discount, but Also remember, if you are with us and you are part of our free Club Inspire, you're earning points on top of that. So it really is a win-win. Platinum price or a brand new orderer, it's at the bottom of your screen, the price point that you are paying. This is limited stock now, 95% of the stock gone. If there is any left at the end of the show, there won't be by midnight. We actually doubt there'll be any left by the end of the show, because we've got 95% of the stock gone. So we have had a fabulous set of creativity already. Can we have a reminder of our demos of the show?
I think we can. Right, now, we haven't done a lot, but we've taken it right back and we've explained where we've come from here. So we started with our dancing dragonflies, absolutely gorgeous, kept that really simple, showed you how to add colour, you know, add your flower for a detail, absolutely gorgeous, colouring in that foiled cardstock at the back. Then we moved on to a little bit of iris folding, because really it looks complicated, but it is such a simple process. And then the third one we did, it has been our nested Christmas dies. Again, just basically cutting them out and layering them up, nothing complicated there at all. So 1 for dancing dragonflies, 2 for iris folding, 3 for nested Christmas dies. I'm going to do another demo now, but it's not going to get into demo of the show.
No problem. So we have got another demo. Don't go anywhere. Get voting on our socials, and then later we'll go for demo of the day. Pat has messaged in saying, what are spuds and swimmers? Someone's having them for dinner, but she doesn't know what they are. Is it an English thing? I've never heard of that. I know what a spud is. I know a spud. It's a potato.
Fish and chips. Fish and chips?
Swimmers, that'd be a fish.
I don't know, I'm guessing.
I love it. That makes sense, it makes sense. Anyway, thanks for that, Pat. She did say completely off topic, but we don't mind that. Okay, we have got time whilst you're voting to squeeze on in another demo, and this is one that's going to make you smile. I put a little picture of this up on my social media, on my Instagram. I don't have access to my Facebook, I don't know why. Put my Rebecca Redican CC Instagram earlier on, and I've already got lots of love hearts for it. So here it is, using these to create with, and a little bit of inspiration. This is a make that you're going to look at, fall in love with, and think, I can't make that as a beginner, but Corinne's going to show you how you can.
Now, I think Jamie just wants to see me cleaning the desks for 10 minutes after the end of the show, because I spent so long getting this clean, and now we're going to have to start again, but not to worry, we can handle this. Right, now what we've got is we've got our foam shapes, and these have been just popped out of the carrier sheet, and we've got them. So we've got a couple of baubles and a couple of bows, and we're going to make a little bag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little star out. We could use this separately if we wanted to, but I just want to pop that one out because I just want this bauble to have the hollow there. Just need to, I'm also going to pop out the little bits. This is called weeding, and we're just weeding out the little bits that we don't want. It's just easier to do it before you add your gilding flakes. It just comes out, so just take those out from here. So as Rebecca said, these are foam shapes, and they are adhesive on the back and they're adhesive on the front, and we're just going to add some gilding flakes to them. I'm getting confused because we've done waxes and flakes and everything. So there we go. So I'm going to pop those on there, and I'm just going to take this top off here. So it's still on the carrier sheet on the back, and we're just going to take the cover sheet off the front.
And that's using your pokey tool, which we do have on show. Yep,
pokey tool. If you don't have what we call our silly telly nails that we have on here, you could possibly just do it with your fingers, but I just find that with these nails, it doesn't work that well. So I'm going to start with the red, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of the red. Look at this, absolutely jam-packed full. So I'm going to get these. So these are just tiny little, some of them aren't so tiny, little flakes of gold metallic loveliness, and we're going to pop those onto there. Now don't worry if it's not, I'll tell you what I haven't got out. Just hold on 1 minute, and we've got to get a little sponge. So all I'm going to do then is I'm just going to just cover the top. Now I'm not, as you noticed before, we don't have to cover it absolutely completely, because when we burnish it down, it's just going to fill in any gaps that there might be. So let's just, there we go, putting back in the pot everything that we don't use. And then I'm using my Gilding Flakes toolkit. I know it's sold out, but as I showed you earlier, you can always use like a little dauber sponge if you wanted to. So I'm going to get this red one, I'm going to bring in this again, and then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to burnish that on. And all it's doing is it's just pushing them into the elements. Now, can you see it's just coming to life? It's just revealing the shape underneath. Just go around the edges. Now, somebody said, can I colour the edges if I wanted to? Now, you can actually get the Gilding Flakes sometimes to stick to them a little bit. Oops, I'm throwing it away.
If you put glue on, for sure.
Yeah, but if not, let me see if I can quickly see a red. Oh, let's see if I can. I can't see the right sort of red pen. Just looking. They're over here. That one might do. See if this works. All you need to do, I don't know if it's perfect red. All you need to do is you can just run a red pen. Can you just see? Hopefully you can see. Just along the edge. Can you see how that's just colouring that up? If that's what you wanted to do. Simple as that. If that bothers you. I mean, I'm not particularly over concerned about that, but if it, I know some people you can see it and it jars. So if it jars on you, that is absolutely fine. Just colour the edges in.
Great.
And then just get the excess off. And the more you give it a little bit of a rub, the brighter it becomes and the more burnished it becomes in there. Now, these Gilding Flakes will go on with all sorts of glues. We've talked about this, using your adhesive sheets, using your glue pens that we've got on the show. It's entirely up to you. You can use your red liner tape, you can use your finger lift tape, anything that will, is sticky enough to adhere. So there's my couple of red ones, and then I'm going to come in here with my green. I'm going to do this ball in green, and that's going to go on there. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to open up, come on, get off my fingernails. I'm going to open up this one because I just want a few hints of green on here. There we are, so I can just take that one off. There. So I don't want lots of green on there, I just want a little bit. So I'm going to get my green, open it up. I couldn't see, I've been using these all day and you can hardly even see where it's come out.
They just go so far.
It does, doesn't it?
Can I come and steal one of your cards from you?
You can.
Because we've had the winner through.
They're over this side.
Oh no, I'll just have, it's all right. Sneak across.
Nobody
Sneak
saw.
Across. Don't be rude.
Nobody saw at all. You were very subtle there.
Just going to take them all because I don't want to let you know which one's won down with the
Right, I'm going to
show.
just put a few little bits of green on there and just leave it at that for that one. And then on this one, I'm just going to then rub this green back into the pot and it just burnishes it off and look at that, you can just see the shape revealing from underneath.
Lovely.
There we go. And then I'll very quickly do the gold and then you can reveal the card. Oops, that's stuck to there. So I've got little bits of green on there, which is what I wanted. I didn't want lots. And then I'm going to do gold on this one. There we go. And you will, lots of Gilding Flakes all over. So we can take this one. I love this. The curls on this is just phenomenal. We can put the gold on there like that, and then I'm just going to put the gold on top. So we've almost got that, a bit more of that patina look that we were talking about earlier. So we've got the green, or was it patina or verdigris? I'm not
that
sure
one's...
Where you've got the green and the
This
gold
one is
together.
festive green.
Yeah, it's festive
And
green,
the
but
other
when
one's
you mix
verdigris.
green and red together, it looks a bit... Is that like verdigris when it's the green and the red, green and the gold together?
Like an oxidisation.
That's it, that's what I mean,
yeah.
But
Like
look at that,
oxidised
how
copper.
that's just brought those two
Gorge.
colours together. And then underneath here somewhere, ready to be revealed, is another gorgeous bauble. And you can see all I'm doing is I'm just putting the bits back into the pot. There we go. And that's going to go on there. Right, before I get to the next bit, do you want to do your bit?
Yes, please. Winner of card of the show is... Oh, Oh, jingle your bells. It's our Christmas nesting dies. We're now going to dive straight on into demo of the day because we've got 4 to choose from tonight. I know there was a draw on earlier. So let's get started, shall we? We are going to go for number 1. This was from our wake-up call. This is the iris folding, as you can see there. So this is number 1, if you want that one. Number 2, we did with these that we're working with right now. This is the card that Corinne made earlier on. So that is number 2 in Launch Party Day. We've also got this one for you, which again is made from the item that we've currently got on screen for you. And this was made in the launch day. And then last but by no means least, we have the one we've just made. So as a reminder, you can vote between 1, 2, 3 or 4. Get your votes in now on our socials. I'm back with you, Corinne.
Okay, right. Please don't think that this is overly complicated for our beautiful beginnings, but all I've done is I've started with a piece of card 5 by 11.5 because we're going to make a little bag. And then we've just scored 1 inch along that way. Just scored it all the way along that way. And then down to that line I've scored a half, and then every 3/4 of an inch. I've left a 4-inch gap, 2 3/4, and then it's left that. Sounds complicated, but it isn't. And then when you trim out the edges, you can already see this is going to become a bag shape. So if I just sort of, let me just fold this over here. This is going to make a lovely little bag really, really easily. I'm going to do that, and then I can fold that one backwards and forwards. I'm trying not to fold that too much, and then we can fold here, there and there. Let's go back on that one, and then that is going to be my bag shape. And all I've done is I've just put a little piece of twine and secured it down with a piece of card. So what we've got now is we've got some gorgeous cardstock. Now this has come from the Vintage Snowman. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't remember. So we can put this onto here. So I've just got it mounted onto some white card, and we're just going to put one on one panel. There we go. And then we're going to pop the other onto the other panel. This is so cute. And again, by using my collal glue, it's going to add a little bit more rigidity to it. And then I've got a little one as well that I'm going to pop on to a tag that I've made. Just really simple. I know I'm rushing through a few of these bits, but there we go. That's going to go on there. Then we're just going to add these. So remember, they were double-sided adhesive. So we can then take the back adhesive off. Come on, peel off, please. Nope, it's not coming off. Let me just see if I can do it. There, found it. I was obviously peeling in the wrong place. Let's get that off. And then we can pop that one onto here, along with that gorgeous one that we put the 2 colours on. And that's going to go just there. Then we can get one of the bows. Let's get the larger of the 2 bows. Peel that off the backing. I've just trimmed it off the sheet to make it easier. That's going to go on there. And then on this little tag, I just need to get some bits off the edges there. I'm going to put another little bauble on my tag, just on like that. Put that bauble on there with the bow. Aren't these super cute?
Lush.
Super, super cute. And we can put that one on there. So all I need to do now is take that red liner tape off, fold it over, sew it like that, bring that one down, and because I've got the same size here and the same size here, if I fold that over and fold it over like that, it will line up perfectly. I don't need to worry. So that's going to pop in there, and then I will, in a minute, I've got some tape on already, put that one down like that down like that, a piece of tape onto there, and that has made a lovely little bag. And we can then just tie my little tag on to here, and we are done. But how cute is...
So nice. I love it, I love it, love it. Adorable. Oh,
There we go.
lush.
Rushed at the end, but
Thank
hopefully
you for
you
showing
pick
us
that up.
that. That is just beautiful, Corinne. Thank you so much. Isn't that delightful? We have had vote for demo of the day, and it goes to one of the makes that we've got with our fabulous treats at the side of our screen. It's number 3 won today, which is an absolute stunner. And don't forget, if you do want to recreate these, all you're going to need to get is the info that's on screen, because you're getting the Gilding flakes, and you're also going to be getting all of these foam pads so that you can use them in the way that Corinne did. What did you think of our first beautiful beginning show? Brilliant, was it? It was beautiful. At the start of something, you might say the beginning. Corinne, thank you so much for our show.
Absolute pleasure. I'm heading off home now. I think it might be Debbie with
It's
an
and then
IE
Jan
tomorrow.
Debbie tomorrow. So say it again.
Is it Debbie tomorrow?
Joe and Debbie.
Joe and Debbie tomorrow. There
Joe and
you
Debbie.
go. There we are. So they're going to do a craft along, aren't they? I think?
That's right. And it's decoupage masterclass it is.
Ooh.
When are you next on with us?
I'm back up next Friday.
Lovely. We'll keep our papers peeled for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
so
it's me and you next Friday.
Yeah, maybe.
Friday.
Yeah, you
Just
could
say
be
yes.
right. I'm smiling and nodding. Thank you for joining us as always. I will just let you know, literally, the calculations are done. If I say we've got 5% left, I'm over-egging it a bit there. It's probably more like 4% left, genuinely. If you fancy it, now is the time to grab it. Grab your glue pen sets, grab your magazines, grab whatever you fancy, and then wait for it to be delivered. For now, though, thanks so much for joining us in this brand new show. You're fabulous. Have a great evening, and we'll see you really soon.